I know what time it is now. I know what time it is now. It's showtime.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Weezak7 of Weezak Games, and this is the character creation walkthrough using my custom sheet for D&D 3.5. We'll start off just by looking at the character creation section in D&D. In the Player's Handbook, right on page 6, it gives you a list of all the steps to go through for creating your character. And I'll basically follow these in order, but not quite. The first step being check with your Dungeon Master. We don't need to do that, obviously. The second is to roll ability scores. I've already rolled these up, and they were an 11, a couple of 12s, a 14, a 15, and a 16. Basically, how you roll ability scores is you take 4 d6s, roll them, remove the lowest, and add the other 3 up. You do that 6 times, and you get your 6 numbers. There are certain situations where you can dispose of the set if it doesn't meet certain criteria, and those are explained in the handbook. So now that we've rolled our ability scores, we're going to select our class and our race. And I'm going to select a half-orc, and going to be a wizard so I can demonstrate the spells, and also just to play against type here. So we'll put down in race, we'll put down half-orc. And for class, we'll put down wizard, level 1. Now, as you can see, a lot of things have already filled in. We have the hit die here, the base saves here, and the base attack bonus up here. Because I've written these down here just to keep track of them. You're going to want your actual base stats to go in this base column here. And that's what we're going to do right now. Because intelligence is the highest thing for a wizard, we're going to put a 16 down there. Constitution's always good for concentration checks and just health, so we'll put a 15. Dex is good for more AC, so we'll put a 14 there. We'll put a 12 in wisdom for bonus will saves, and 12 in constitution because that, or charisma, because that never hurts. And finally an 11 in strength, because my wizard's involved in melee, we have some serious issues here. So now that I've done that, you can see that it's filled in the totals for the saves, it's filled in my AC total, it's filled in my ranged and melee attack totals, my touch AC, and all that stuff down there. It's even filled in my skill bonuses. Obviously, I haven't filled in all of my AC stuff or my skill ranks yet, so that's bound to change. So now that we've done that, we're going to go to the racial stats, the racial bonuses for a half-orc. And first of all, we change the ability scores accordingly. +2 strength, -2 intelligence, and -2 charisma. So the strength becomes 13, the intelligence becomes 14, and the charisma becomes 10. This is exactly why you would not normally do a half-orc wizard if you were trying to min-max the character, because he suffers a penalty to the most important stat that a wizard has. So obviously that's not something you'd really want to do. Next, and I like to get all the stuff from my race taken care of right off the bat, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. They're medium, their base speed is 30, so we'll put base speed of 30, size of medium. And then they have 2 special abilities of Dark Vision and Orc Blood, and then automatic languages, Common and Orc. So in abilities, we have 2 special abilities, Dark Vision of 60, and Orc Blood treated as Orc. Now, languages are Common and Orc. Now, because you can have an extra language per point of intelligence bonus, I can get 2 extra languages. For those languages, we'll just say Dwarven and Elven, because in a standard D&D game, those are going to probably be pretty useful. So, that's everything for this section. We'll go back up to look at the steps here. Now that we've done that, we've selected our race and our class, we've adjusted the ability scores and assigned them. We're ignoring this part because for time constraints. That's basically just a suggestion of what you should start with. We recorded our racial features, and then we're going to record our class features. So I'm going to look for the wizard here. Okay, found the wizard. And as you can see, every class has a table here. And this is where you will draw their base attack bonus, their base saves, and any special abilities they have. My custom sheet, does these automatically, so you don't need to worry about any of these things. If you're using a normal D&D sheet, you just take the number right from here. It should be noted that these are not cumulative, i.e. a 3rd level Wizard only has a +1 to base attack bonus, not 1+1. And same thing with the saves and with the specials. And the spells if they use that. So, first of all, we're going to put down our special abilities of Summon Familiar and Scribe Scroll. Scribe Scroll is a feat that we get for free, so Scribe Scroll allows scribing of scrolls. I'm not going to put down Summon Familiar because I'm just going to fill out the familiar sheet. So, we're going to move into the magic, the simple tab, because my normal magic tab I still have a lot of issues with that I haven't yet fixed. So, if you're using this sheet, I would recommend just using the simple tab for right now. And we're going to put down here as 3 level 0 spells per day and 1 level 1 spell per day. He gets a couple of bonus spells for having a higher intelligence, but we'll worry about all the magic stuff later. Right now, we're just going to stick with this. Finally, we will mark down our class skills, and then we'll be done with the wizard for right now. A class skill, basically, when you use skill points, in your class skills, you can have total ranks equal to your level +3, and each rank costs 1 point. Whereas cross-class skills, you can only have half as many ranks, and each rank costs 2 points. Excuse me. So as you can see here, we have our class, the highest rank we can have in our class skills, and the highest ranks we can have in our cross-class, as well as our remaining skill points. Every class gets a certain number of skill points, either 2, 4, 6, or 8, plus their intelligence modifier. Actually, I'm not sure if any class gets 4. But I know there's 2, 6, and 8, plus your intelligence modifier. You get quadruple skill points at first level. So basically, the quickest way to do skills is to take that first number, 2 plus your intelligence modifier, in the case of a wizard. It'd be 8 plus intelligence modifier if you were a rogue, for example. But to take that number, and that's how many skills you can max out. So, because my int is 2, and the wizard has 2 plus int, that means I can max out 4 skills. However, before you assign skills, you want to mark down over here what your class skills are. This will allow the sheet to keep track of which skills only require 1 point. For instance, if I put 1 rank here, you can see that goes to 14 because this is a cross-class skill. Whereas if I put 1 here, it only goes to 15. So we mark down the wizard's class skills, which are right at the top here of all the of any class description. You'll have their class skills right there before their weapon and armor proficiencies. Profession and spellcraft. Alright, so we're going to max out 4 skills to rank 4, and that will be spellcraft, knowledge arcana, decipher script, and concentration. Now, you can mix and match these more than this. You could put 2 points in decipher script, 2 points in craft, for instance, or pretty much any way you want to mix and match these. This is just the quickest and easiest way to do it. So now that we've done that, that's pretty much all we need the wizard entry for right now. So our wizard's shaping up pretty good. We've got basically everything we need to take care of on this section for right now. Oh, with the exception of hit points. Every class has a hit die, as you can see. In each level, you roll that hit die and add it to your base in here. And then, for your total hit points, you had your Constitution modifier times your level to that number. So, in this case, 2 times 1 is 2, which you can see the sheet is already filled in, because the sheet does that automatically, and then adds it to this. But since this is 0 right now, we just have 2. Now, the way I always play it is that at first level, it's assumed you've rolled your maximum, being 4. I don't know if that's an official D&D rule or not, so you'd have to double check that. And then maybe, next level I'd roll it and say I got a 3, and you'd add, so you would make that to 7, and it would, keep going up like that. However, since we're still first level, we assume we've rolled 4, plus 2 for our Constitution modifier brings us to 6. And I'm assuming we're at full health, so 6, there we are. Okay, now we have finished with this page, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into our abilities and select our feat. I already know what feat I want because it's an extremely useful feat for casters. It is combat casting and allows you to cast defensively easier. +4 when casting defensively. Next, we're going to move on to the equipment. And what we are going to do is we're going to give him a weapon of a quarterstaff. Quarterstaff. If I recall correctly, the weight was 4 pounds. It costs 0. The way the damage works, as you can see, there are 3 sections here, 3 little cells. The first one is how many dice it deals. The second is what type of dice it deals, d6, and the third is any magical bonus that the weapon has. This weapon does not have one, so we're not going to do that. It crits on a 20, which we'll put there, and it only does ×2 damage. Its range is 0, and it has type of bludgeoning. Bludge. And special properties can be used as double weapon. So now that we've given him a weapon, we're going to give him some armor. So padded armor, weight of 10 pounds, cost of 4 gold. Sure, why not? An AC bonus of +1, a max dex bonus of 8, armor check penalty of 0, spell failure of 5%, movement speed still at 30, and no special properties. Normally, you're probably not going to want to have a wizard have armor at all, because as you can see, it has a chance of causing his arcane spells to fail, and you don't want that happening. But to show off how the armor works, I'm going to do it anyway. Down here as well, we'll have other things, other items equipped. Because at first level you don't usually have a lot of gold, you're probably not going to be able to purchase any magic items, but that's where you'll put it here. Now, down here you can see what your total weight is, and it adds up the weight in each of these columns, the weight per multiplied by how many you have. So if I had 2 quarterstaves, it would increase to 18, because 14 plus 8. We put it down to 1, and you see 14. The item worth is the same thing, except it's gold cost. Here we go, cost per. So, that being said, if you have something in 2 different locations, like say you have a ring of protection up here, and then you have it also listed again down here, you're going to not want to put down the weight or the cost in the second place, so that way it won't be counted twice. Why would you put it in 2 places? And I will show you why you may want to do that in a minute. But first of all, we're going to go look at the inventory here, and this is basically just items, stuff that you don't have equipped. We'll say we'll have 1 spell component pouch. We'll say this is a weight of 1 pound and a cost of 1 gold. I don't know what it is actually. Obviously, you'd want to put a lot more stuff here if you were actually making a character. I'm not going to for time's sake, but we'll just do that. As you can see now, the item worth and the total weight is increased. We'll give him 5 gold, and as you can see, the total worth here has increased as well, because that adds your item worth plus your total gold here. So now that we've given him weapons and armor, we're going to go back out here, and we're going to fill them in. So the quarterstaff was in slot 1, so we're going to type a 1 here, and as you can see, everything the quarterstaff has fills in. Its name, its attack bonus, the damage, 1d6. This +1 is because my strength has a modifier +1. So as you can see, it fills that in by itself. It's critical, and everything else right there. Here you can mark down whether you're wielding it two-handed or not. I will be, which doesn't matter right now because my strength isn't high enough, but if it was a little bit higher, I would be doing more damage. Ranged weapon, I don't have one of those right now. I could put in 1, and it would show that I'm wielding a quarterstaff in my primary hand and in my offhand. Next we'll move to armor, and the same thing, you put down the number 1, or whatever slot your armor is in, and it fills in right there. And also, you can see that it's filled in up here in the armor bonus. Which brings me to why you may want to have multiple items. If I had a ring of protection, I could put that in right here, and that would automatically add it to your shield bonus right there. However, you also may want to then keep track that it's equipped as one of your ring slots. So you see that you can use it like that. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.